For days now, Marvel fans have been asking themselves, what is that anarchist Avengers thing that Ryan Reynolds keeps sharing? Seriously, what is that? And the truth is, we don't know for sure. I mean, there are some insiders and some scoopers kind of hinting at what it means. And given all of the context of the other rumors for Deadpool and Wolverine, I think we can piece together what that flag represents. And so in this video, I want to talk about my theory on this, how it ties to basically the resistance group on the Void that's fighting against Cassandra Nova. But I also think this might be a bigger deal than people realize. I think it might have something to do with Robert Downey Jr. and Tobey Maguire. So I also want to get into that. So what am I even talking about? I'm talking about this symbol right here. This is an Avengers flag, and it has this anarchist A spray painted over it. And this was shared by Ryan Reynolds himself on Ryan Reynolds' Instagram. But I guess not enough people were actually talking about it or understanding that it was significant. So then he posted again with him in a hat that literally has the same symbol. Now, the best guess of what this is, and this is something that a lot of scoopers have been hinting at, it's that this is the flag of the resistance, the group of heroes that are resisting the leadership and the control of Cassandra Nova in the Void. And it would make sense for Avengers-like stuff to be in the Void. I mean, we did see Paul Rudd's Giant Man, and his dead body is essentially the home base of Cassandra Nova. And maybe that's really why this flag exists. It's possible that a group of Avengers already tried to stop Cassandra Nova, and they were all slaughtered, and then her control was instituted, and she became the ruler. So maybe it's like even in memory of this group of initial Avengers that did try to fight against Cassandra Nova and were ultimately beaten. Because I don't know why this group of individuals would care about the Avengers or would use their symbol. I'm also kind of confused about the anarchist thing, but we'll get into that in just a second. Like, let's just take a base level here and think about this. So if this is a group of heroes or anti-heroes that are now fighting against Cassandra Nova, why would they take the Avengers symbol? Especially because out of the rumored people that we think are in this group of resistance fighters, not one of them is an actual Avenger. Not one of them comes from a place or a franchise or a timeline or a universe where the Avengers even existed. Like, what am I talking about? What do I mean? Well, let's go through the rumors right now. Okay, so the rumors right now are that you're going to have Daphne Keene's X-23, and she is supposedly the actual Daphne Keene from the Logan movie. And apparently after Logan dies in that universe goes to shit and is eventually destroyed. This is going to be connected to the anchor being thing. But either way, the main point that we're trying to make here is there were no Avengers in that universe. There's no Avengers in the Logan universe. Next up, we've got Wesley Snipes Blade, and that's freaking awesome, dude. I'm super excited that Wesley Snipes Blade is apparently in this resistance, but again, no Avengers in the Blade movies. Like, that wasn't a thing. Jennifer Garner as Elektra is also rumored to be one of these members, and we've even seen like part of her elbow in the one trailer, but again, no Avengers in the universe that she comes from. Chris Evans, Johnny Storm. That's awesome. Holy shit. Can't wait to see him in the movie. But the Fantastic Four come from a universe where there's no Avengers. So it's like, on the one hand, I just don't get why they're even using the Avengers symbol unless all of these different people did see the Avengers on the Void, try to stop Cassandra Nova, and ultimately get slaughtered. So maybe they're doing it in like remembrance or to honor them. But this explanation could also be way simpler if it's just Deadpool, right? If this is a resistance that Deadpool creates, like our Deadpool, Wade Wilson, then it would make sense that he wants to call it the Avengers because he knows about the Avengers, because he breaks the fourth wall. In fact, this whole movie is kind of predicated on this idea that Wade Wilson himself desperately wants to get into the MCU. He knows what the MCU is. And so it's possible what we are actually seeing with this Avengers logo is Wade Wilson taking the concept that none of these characters know about and formulating the resistance. And yeah, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, that is totally a Deadpool thing. That is probably obviously what it is. He just likes the Avengers. Everybody else is going to be like, I don't even know what that is. Now, another piece of this puzzle or another part of this mystery has to do with a lot of rumors that have come out about Robert Downey Jr. initially being in Deadpool and Wolverine. Now, technically, these rumors soft started months ago because there's this big rumor about a crazy post-credit scene in Deadpool and Wolverine. And the way this scene was described was that it was basically going to blow all of our minds. It was going to be the craziest post-credit scene you've ever seen. And it was going to be something that got a lot of fans that have maybe walked away from Marvel or were fatigued of the whole thing to re-engage and be incredibly hyped. And so I guess just based on that and based on some stuff that Robert Downey Jr. was saying in recent interviews, people just thought, oh shit, like this is going to be Robert Downey Jr. coming back in some way, shape, or form. And just over this last weekend, Daniel RPK came out to say that there was a plan to have Robert Downey Jr. in Deadpool and Wolverine, but it didn't work out. Now, it's really hard to say how far along did they get in this concept, but there's another interesting part of what Daniel said that I think could help us to explain this Antarctical Avengers flag. It says here, Marvel wanted RDJ to make a cameo in Deadpool and Wolverine, particularly in a post-credit scene, but it didn't work out. It was supposed to serve as both a build-up for Secret Wars and as a payoff to another scene that is still in the film, which I won't spoil. Now, first, I just want to say, it seems like what Daniel's implying is that crazy post-credit scene that everybody was teasing was going to be this with RDJ. Okay, I'm reading between the lines a little bit there, but that's what I think he's trying to say. But the more interesting element here is that it's going to pay off a scene that's still in the movie, right? This is going to set up Secret Wars with RDJ in a post-credit scene, but was going to pay something off in this film. And that kind of makes me think that perhaps Avengers Tower or something to do with Tony Stark will still be in the void. And maybe that's even where Deadpool takes his group of resistance fighters in order to get them better weapons or more technology. I mean, we have seen versions of Avengers Tower in the void in the Loki show. And there were heavy, big time rumors that a superior Iron Man variant of Tony Stark was going to be in Multiverse of Madness. In fact, I actually still think that's how Marvel's going to utilize RDJ in the Multiversal Saga. There's kind of some hints out there, a little bit of scoopers, you know, teasing it. And that was also the variant that was going to be in Multiverse of Madness. This clearly is an idea that Marvel has had for some time. It's also a great way to differentiate this variant of RDJ that will be active in the Secret Wars stuff from the one that dies at the end of Endgame, right? And so they'll take him, he'll probably be an anti-hero, and then they'll make him do some heroic stuff and kind of arc him into a hero, kind of like what they did with Loki. But look, I'm getting ahead of myself. The point is, they have plans for Tony Stark. It seemed like he was going to be in this movie, and they had a scene in the movie that is still in the movie that was going to be paid off by actually having RDJ in a post-credit scene. And maybe this is just Deadpool making reference to Robert Downey Jr. like a lot in the movie, or maybe it's something more significant. Perhaps Cassandra Nova has already defeated a Tony Stark variant, or Deadpool and his team go to a Tony Stark tower and get Stark weapons or Stark technology to help them with something to maybe attract Goliath over to Cassandra Nova or something like that. Who knows? Because if you really think about what Daniel is saying in his scoop, they had a scene in the movie that was going to have Robert Downey Jr. that paid off a scene that's still in the movie, and it was going to directly set up Secret Wars. So, like, a lot of that is still there. They still want to set up Secret Wars. They still want to introduce this idea of variants of the Avengers coming together. And I actually think it could be the case that what we're going to see with Deadpool and Wolverine and this resistance group is that it goes beyond just forming the resistance in the void. Maybe this turns into something where they're going to start trying to form a resistance with all the Avengers throughout the multiverse. That feels right for a tease of Secret Wars. That feels like something that kind of has to happen in order for Secret Wars to have a multiversal group of Avengers. And another reason why I think this is happening is because around the time of Multiverse of Madness, there was a listing for a multiversal Avengers t-shirt. Now, it never came out, but I believe it was a real thing, and I believe it was connected to the superior Iron Man rumors also around Multiverse of Madness. So maybe this anarchy symbol Avengers Resistance will end up becoming the symbol for the multiversal Avengers. Because there's a lot we do not know about Deadpool and Wolverine. A lot of cameos that have not been revealed, and perhaps even plot elements that have been kept away from the public. And so I'm super interested. What's the deal with this symbol? Yes, it is likely the symbol of the Resistance, but there's got to be more to it. Why did they pick the Avengers symbol? What are the Avengers to the people on the Void? What does Cassandra Nova think about the Avengers? Like, there's so many intriguing questions that pop into my nerdy brain after I see Ryan Reynolds share something like this. So I figured I would share those thoughts with you. Let me know what you think about them in the comment section below. And as I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video.